Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast by Monarch. We're still without a name, but we keep on moving forward.
That we do. We do keep on moving forward.
And as you can see, this week we have a guest with us. Welcome, Shyrea Jones. Shyrea, make yourself at home. So just get comfortable. We're going to follow our normal format. We'll give some updates of some things that are going on at the cottage. Then we'll go into what's Dawn want to talk about. And then, Shyrea, we're going to turn it over to you. And we'll do an interview and just talk about all the lovely things that are Shyrea Jones.
I'm with it.
So excited. This is dope.
This is so much fun.
This is awesome. We keep moving forward every week.
What's the saying? Love what you do what you love.
And it doesn't feel like work.
And it doesn't feel like work. Yeah. So what's going on?
So what's going on at the cottage tonight? We have open mic night / karaoke. So all of you guys that like to sing, you want to get your voice together.
That singing that you just did sounds as bad as mine. That's how your singing came across. Now, does that annoy you?
Does what annoy me? No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Then your singing wouldn't annoy you either.
It sounds good to me.
Okay, keep going.
So,
keep going.
So tonight is open mic night / karaoke. We have the microphones, everything ready to go. I'm so excited about that. Tomorrow morning is our yin yoga with Shyrea. And we're going to do
And you guys will get used to me interrupting Devin because
okay.
I have to fit in where is it? Get in where you fit in.
That's right.
So is that the word?
That's
So I've got to sneak it in there.
Just tell me.
So yeah. So how's your body feeling these days?
My body, since I started yoga, my body is really going through a transformation. It is it's sore sometimes in a good way.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to almost enjoy the soreness. So
Right.
I start to crave almost that soreness because I feel like my body is being stretched,
Right.
Beyond just my normal level of comfort.
Right. So for me, I wasn't expecting, because I enjoy it so much, I wasn't expecting any kind of soreness or pain or anything like that. So when you said to me earlier, is your body kind of sore? Or how's your body reacting to yoga? That's when it first hit me. I was like, oh, that's why my body
and you're
is
doing
sore.
it multiple times a week.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Y'all gotta practice. Though.
Yes.
And some days, okay, so this is the other thing. And the other thing that I've been thinking about too is I almost kind of need a yoga around Tuesday. I think because we do it Thursday
And
with
then
you and then Saturdays, it's like,
by Tuesday you looking for
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can talk about that.
and that may help us.
Yeah.
That may help us a little bit with our aches because. But then again, once again, like I said, I think we have a yoga instructor in the making here. But we'll talk about that a little later.
Okay.
So on Saturday mornings we also have yoga with Shyrea. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow morning. And then on Sunday we have our sister circle with Keisha Cox. We're going to be celebrating sisterhood, and she's just going to be giving us tips on how to relieve stress, how to increase your energy, and just improve just tips for improving your overall lifestyle. So I'm very excited for that as well. So
I really appreciate the directions that Keisha comes from, because when she speaks to you, she's a therapist. She's a licensed therapist at first, right? So you're getting that therapy that you definitely need, and then she's coming to you also with that yin, that yoga kind of just so I just. And the combination of that gives the energy that she gives off based on that combination is wild. So
it's really good.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So that's what we have going on this weekend, and then our week always starts on Thursday with Cherie's yoga. So every Thursday, Cherie is here, and then next Friday or this Friday is what we're really hyped for is our open mic night. But yeah, that's what we got going on this weekend. So tonight, open mic night. Tomorrow is our yoga, and then on Sunday we have Miss Keisha Cox for our sister circle to we say we do that work. Whenever we see Keisha Cox, it's like it's time to do some hard work.
It's time,
right? So that's kind of what we're ready for this weekend.
Yeah.
So
well, just so I guess I can go right into Dawn's thoughts because they do kind of go with last night's session, right?
Last night's session.
So what's on Dawn's mind? So we had to cancel yoga last night because of weather, right? Inclement weather. And Devin and I decided that we would still continue with our own little private session, right? So then we said, so as we're doing it, the phones are vibrating with these emergency alerts, right?
Okay.
Emergency alerts, emergency.
Tornado warning.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
right. And I'm steady. I'm like, Devin, no, we're doing yoga. Come on. I need this. This is what I need. We're doing yoga. So then she continues to read whatever the emergency said, and then I was like, okay, we gotta go. So my question is, how do you respond to those emergency alerts?
No, she's leaving out a lot of the story, okay? Let me just back up, right? So we decide that class is canceled. I thought we're about to go home because we told everybody to be safe.
Right.
And so I'm leaving, and Dawn, I look over at her, and she is going into...
Oh, Dawn is centering herself.
She's centering herself.
Okay.
And then she says, you should take a video of me leading class.
I love it.
You know what I said?
So I was like, oh, wait.
Is that really what
yes.
I said? Leading class?
Yes. So then I said, okay, so...
Where are we going with this?
You're right. And now I'm like, okay, where are we going with this? I'm like... We cancel class. Do you still think that because we're here, we still should go forward with our practice? And she said, yes, we should do something. So she tells us to get our mats out. So we get our mats out. Dawn rolls out her mat, and she tells me to play the music because, I always have the little music playing. So I put on the music, and Dawn tells us to find, she says, get into a position that's comfortable for your body.
Okay.
And find your edge. And we're gonna hold. She said, and we're gonna hold this pose for 2 minutes.
I said that.
Yes, Dawn, and you set the alarm for 2 minutes.
I set the mood and the alarm.
And as these 2 minutes, we're holding our poses for 2 minutes. Those alarms are going off. But the tornado alarms are also going off at the same time.
Okay.
So as the tornado alarms are going off, Dawn is saying, find your safe space.
It sounds like Dawn has remixed all 3 classes that we have every week. She's taking a little bit from this style, a little bit from that style, made it her own, which is fine because that's what I do as well.
Right.
The important part is the tornado alerts that are going on.
I wasn't worried about
I wasn't worried about them at all.
At that point,
I wasn't worried.
It was Dawn versus Dawn. Who cares what Mother Nature is doing? I love it.
I don't know at what point did I say, okay, we gotta go?
When I think it was the second tornado watch, and I said, Dawn, they said, it pretty much said only be on the road if you're fleeing or you're trying to find shelter. And
it
at
goes
that point,
from warning to watch.
Yes.
That's when people don't realize that's the trigger word.
Right.
Warning, all right, we're chilling. When they say watch, go home. Please.
Go home.
Go home, please.
Well, I think at that point I was like, you said whatever you said. They said, didn't it also say, don't try and travel?
yes, it was like, and I didn't want to get a travel ban.
And I was like, we got to get out of here.
Then all of a sudden it was like a sense of urgency. We gotta go.
Get up out
We
of
gotta
here.
get up out of here. And I'm like,
Come on. You know, we're in flood zones and stuff.
yeah, that's the thing. Then she wants to start pointing out
the
that there are
different
flood
flood
zones. And when we get home later on that evening, she sends me articles that the tornado touched down like a mile from here. Like,
Yeah,
it was right there.
yes, not too far from here. So your question, Dawn, is what do we do when the
Do you
emergency?
really when those emergency
How
alerts?
serious do you
How
take 'em?
serious do you take them? And I feel like I should probably take them a little bit more serious.
Yeah,
I should too.
Yeah.
I would have been. People have to tell me like you shouldn't. We gotta cancel this. You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll take your advice.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have kept going to.
Yeah. Especially because, like I said, it's something that I enjoy so much, and I think that at this point, I'm not even gonna ask my next question because I want to get right into
sure. Yes.
Okay.
Right into
All right,
you.
I'm here.
Yeah, and it's just giving you the platform to introduce yourself, and then we'll start with questions. But just for me to first express the energy that I enjoy so much. I right now I've got goosebumps.
I see it. Your
Just
face is
you,
glowing.
yes, just you
I
being
love it.
here and me learning whatever from you. So welcome and give us some information.
Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Welcome.
yes.
Where do you want me to start?
Mhm.
I'll start with the simple stuff.
Yeah.
I'm Shyrea, mother of 3, 16, 11, and 3.
That's a
Yes,
lot.
that little baby girl, she does it for us all. But she came to me in a point in my life where I needed that.
Right.
I like to take walks outside, preferably Delaware State Parks. I love it. And that's it. I'm a yoga instructor, serial entrepreneur at this point. Co-founded a nonprofit. I help all my friends, whoever needs help, call me. But I also like for people to understand that like burnout is real. So even though I do all of these things, there's definitely times where don't call me this date, do this time. We go on vacation. In so many words, you don't have to physically go on vacation to bring some stillness into your life. So,
Right.
and once I learned that and mastered it, that's what I preach to the people. So.
Can you tell us a little bit about what led you into your journey, your yoga journey? I think because all of us it's really made an impact on our lives.
Right.
So how did you get into it?
So I started yoga with just simply meditation. Back in 2012, I lost my father. He passed away, had a brain aneurysm. And he was like, I'm daddy's girl, the youngest, like all these things. And dealing with that grief, then came the alcoholism, then came the hanging out and not really focused on things that I should have been focused on. At the time I had one child and a career, all of these things. And it started with, let me just try this crazy meditation thing I'm saying. Couldn't find solace in the church. I couldn't find solace with my family. Like, what is gonna, let me say, all right, Hennessy, you cool, but you shouldn't be how I start and end my day.
Right.
What am I numbing myself from? And it started with meditation. And then the postures came for me very, very later. Like, it came later. And a lot of people say that they can tell in my, the way that I decide to facilitate, the way I decide to lead, that postures are important, but for me, it's really the calming of the mind.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe, whichever God that you believe in and you speak to, meditation for me is calming my mind so I can hear those messages back.
Yes.
I'm not, I rant all the time. Like, everybody wants to pray and, oh God, if you get me out of this, I'll never do it again. When are you stilling your mind to hear? He didn't say do it anyway. He or she, whichever you believe, I guarantee you they're not saying, well, do it anyway, I got you. They're giving you messages, but you're not stilling and calming your mind to take them in. So that's where it started for me.
Yeah.
And then it kind of snowballed into now it's me just going to classes. In this area, it's kind of hard because if you're looking for a yoga instructor who isn't perfect by any means, curvy, still thinks French fries is a food group, y'all can fight me on it, it is what it is. Grew up with a mother who drank Pepsi like it was water, so I inherited that, all these unhealthy things, but I still needed someone to relate to, and I couldn't find that. So I decided I'm going to become a facilitator, and I'm going to give these same people who are out here from these same neighborhoods who have these same feelings, who need this healing, but don't see an instructor that looks like them. I'm going to be that person for them. So that's when Hedera Yoga was born.
That's like be the change you want to see, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. And then in that, it started small. Pop-ups everywhere, looking for a home studio, not really finding a studio that understood me as a person, so you're not going to understand me as a facilitator. So people don't really realize that the word yoga is almost like you're saying sport, because there's so many different lineages that you can practice.
Yes.
I choose to kind of mix a couple of them, because that's what works for me. Now I can go in and I can teach a strictly vinyasa class, a strictly hatha class, but for me, again, it started spiritual, it started emotional. So I bring all of that into the sessions that I facilitate. So when I found Green Bank, Green Bank found me, it's the same way yoga found me, Green Bank Wellness Studio found me, it was an instant lock. It was one of those things where it's woman owned, black woman owned, indigenous woman owned, queer owned, Muslim owned, all the boxes. This is really a come as you are studio. So for me, it's, why wouldn't I want to be a part of that? These are the things that I've been looking for. This is the safe space that I've been looking for and I couldn't find. So Green Bank is like, it's a part of my DNA at this point. And it's, I wish more people would come to yoga studios, but again, people that look like us, yoga studio where? Like, meet me where I am. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be at Monarch Cottage, where else I'm going to be at the park, and you can meet me there. So I'll always keep that in mind also, that everyone isn't a, go to the yoga studio every week kind of person.
So one of the other questions that we kind of had was around the mindfulness and the movement class that you present, and what can attendees expect from one of your classes? Because I know personally, my first encounter in one of your classes was major.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was, I mean, like, yeah. So what can people expect?
So mindfulness and movement is like a class concept that I came up with when I did my trauma-informed yoga training through the Prison Yoga Project. Because when you teach in those settings, things have to be very different than you can in the studio, even in regards to some of the poses that you do. So for me, I always work backwards. What is something that I looked for that I couldn't find? So now let's put a class around it. So people realize that meditation sometimes can put you to sleep because you're so relaxed. But for me, it's, what if you're relaxing your body but your mind is still aware? What does that look like? Okay, so now that we've tackled that, now it's, how does your breath fit in there? Okay, cool, now you've tackled that. Okay, we're going to add some postures in, but we're not going to hold them as long as maybe a yin class. It's not going to be as fast as a vinyasa, but as you're moving, you're still keeping your mind calm and your breath is still going. And I remind you as such as we move through it. So that's exactly what you're going to get from a mindfulness and movement class. And I feel you're going to leave that class and you're going to want to venture to other lineages because you're going to want to know she's pulling from Kemetic, she's pulling from Hatha, she's pulling from all these things. Now I want to see what all these other things are, and that's what's beautiful to me.
Yeah, for sure. And empowering, how would you feel, or how do you see this empowering busy women and moms, and how they can add it into their daily or weekly routine?
That's literally me. It's taking that moment for yourself. And 30 to 45 minutes may not seem like a whole lot of time, but it's your time. That's your time to say, okay, what's hurting me on my body that I've been ignoring? What is continuously floating around my mind that I've been continuously ignoring? I think it's a reset, and I think that we don't do enough of it. I say to people all the time, meditation doesn't mean you sit in a corner for 3 hours like I do. Meditation could be you just taking a walk around the block, clearing your mind. And because people aren't familiar with the terminology, they think one thing has to be one way. And that's why I love yoga, because yoga can be what you want it to be.
Yeah. And it's a proactive kind of self-care, right? So a lot of times we reach a point that we do get to that point of burnout before we start to seek these types of like meditation and these stress reducing techniques. So the thing that I like now is that it's proactive. It's built into kind of our schedule, and we have even no matter how stressful your week may be, you know that you have that time dedicated to yourself, that you're gonna be able to reset.
Yeah, and even for me, I've started to learn that even outside of my yoga classes, when I am feeling a certain way, that I know now how to calm myself or to get into whatever pose or mind frame that kind of helps me.
It's the self-awareness.
Yeah.
I think that we don't quote unquote check ourselves enough. Like I know for me, even if I'm going to like a certain thought pattern that I know is either going to end down a road where it shouldn't, or it's just like, all right, why are we thinking like this? Where is this train of thought coming from? It's the self-awareness saying that I know I might be anxious, but let me breathe through it. Let me think through it. A lot of us don't even know what that means. A lot of us are just going through it all, and I love that for you. I really do. I love that you can now say, you know what? Don't you get a little anxious? Take a minute.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I'm gonna be honest that all of the things that come to mind during a session for me are not always just roses and sands, right? And water. It gives me an opportunity to touch on things that maybe in my regular day to day I would be too.
You're avoiding.
I'm avoiding. I'm avoiding. So it definitely it's been just a major asset to myself in these last couple of months that we've brought yoga to the forefront. I think one of the questions, Devin, you said was, can you share any success stories or transformations you've witnessed in your students?
Yeah, we have a young lady who's at the studio, and we put her up on the Green Bank Wellness page. Her name is Tony. She's works from home. I forget the company, but any of that working from home tied to a desk situations, you know, it can be high stress. And she literally said, "Thank you."
Yeah.
She says she's now able to calibrate in her life. Her confidence is up differently, even down to, you know, a lot of times you go into a studio and these people look like they don't eat. No offense to anyone who lives that lifestyle, but that's not realistic to every woman in not only just this city, but in the world.
Right.
For her, she said, I watch you come in here with your crop tops and you don't care what she was like, you don't care what dimple is. I'm like, listen, I have 3 kids, y'all gonna get all this body. And it gives her that confidence to do the same. That right there is enough for me. That's enough for me. Even the experience you had my first time here,
beautiful,
that beauty is enough for me.
I know.
That makes me whole. That's like, you know what, I did something great this week. And that's why I only teach a few select classes now, because I got into the hustle and bustle of when I decided to make this my full-time career. I started to get into, I'm taking whoever wants the class. 3 years later, I'm intentional on, I need to know who was there first. And it just so happened that Keisha Cox, who I have grown so close to over this last year, was like, check them out. I'm so glad that she said check them out, because now y'all can't get rid of me, right? That's just what it's gonna be. But I think there's something in the way I choose to facilitate that. I get an emotional and a spiritual connection with my practitioners, so it's like I can't just be anywhere. Even down to like the senior center that I teach at Mondays and Wednesdays, Kingswood. It's watching them, women that probably couldn't even walk on their own in March, now they're scurrying along in a cane. I can't wait to see what they're going to be in December. That gives me joy. That makes me whole, and that's why I do it.
Speaking of,
I'm sorry. I got wanna because I'm sorry. I'm going to digress a little bit because
that's what
I saw yesterday that you were at the grand opening or the ribbon cutting of the new Kingswood Community Center.
They are doing great things.
They're doing great things. I know you don't. I mean, can you just tell us a little bit about what that experience was like yesterday, because it looked phenomenal and it just. I saw someone say that there was, some could say that yesterday was the culmination of a plan that was 90 years in the
80 years in the
making.
making. 80 years in the making.
80 years in the making. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So for me, it's, first of all, it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
The work that's being done there in general.
Mm-hmm.
But for them, they've been working out of this same community center that they are in for almost 8 years. Through a renovation here, a renovation there, they've been working out of this same place. I'm talking like we have the founder of Kingswood Community Center, his daughter was there.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking like the women that they were first kindergarten graduates that are there. We're talking women that have worked in that same space for 30 plus years and won't go anywhere. Literally until their maker calls them home, they'll be in that same space.
Mm-hmm.
That's the family that they have made there, and it's just mind blowing to see the state officials, the government, like all of them supporting that movement. And it's, for me to be a part of that, it gave me so much motivation to know that, okay, this work that I'm doing, okay,
it makes something.
It makes sense, and it can reach a broader audience, because they literally go from literally the babies to the childcare all the way up to the seniors.
That's
and
wonderful.
everything in between.
That's beautiful.
And the services that they provide there, shout out to Miss Cookie, because she does a good job with making sure, book bag drive, and her team as well. But they do bingo nights, they do burger nights. Like, there's no point in you sitting home. Bring those kids so they can eat dinner.
Nice.
And you can have a good time while you're there. And it's just being a part of that. It just it is nothing but inspiring.
Right.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
So inspiring.
And I'm gonna, and I probably have already told my age on this show, on this forum before anyway, but just saying that, I remember going to Kingswood camp one year. I remember the Kingswood bus coming through, or van coming through, and picking me up and taking me to Kingswood. And I can remember, as I'm sitting right here, I can remember the rooms and the memories that I created that summer from Kingswood. So to see them flourishing right now, to see the changes and the opportunities that are coming right now, it's amazing.
Yeah.
As someone that went there umpteen years ago for camp,
Right.
It's just beautiful.
And
it's wonderful.
The way they have it mapped out, it's beautiful. Like, literally, the teen warehouse is for teens by teens.
Yeah.
Why? Because they need, especially in today's climate, they need a little bit more nourishment.
Yeah.
They need the, hey, it's okay. Sometimes, to me, a 15-year-old and an 8-year-old should not be in the same spaces and you're expecting to get the same thing. They need something just for them.
Right.
They teach them professional development. They're learning about not only how to take care of themselves, but how to run a business. And they let them govern as such.
Yeah.
If there's someone wants to come in and do a program at the teen warehouse, the teens vote on it. I love that.
Yeah.
So that being an extension of Kingswood only says to me, like, these are the things that they've already been doing.
Yeah.
Now they have the money behind it
To excel.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
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 Yeah, that was, it just looked like an
It was
amazing,
amazing.
inspiring.
Yeah.
Someone said it was like you had to be there type
was.
of.
It was.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, nasty weather yesterday.
Yes.
So we're outside in these tents, select seating. So if you didn't get there on time, you were standing. I was there on time. And I was standing in no rain. But it literally, it was inspiring. That's like the simplest way I can put it.
Inspiring. Yeah.
So you're doing your own inspiring work with the Black Yoga Fest Foundation.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about your nonprofit and what activities and events you all have coming up? I see you guys have a lot going on right now. So tell us about it.
So Black Yoga Fest Foundation, I co-founded with a young lady by the name of Felicia Crew, and it was simply started out as a GoFundMe. Black girls that do yoga don't always have the finances. They don't always have the money to pay for a certification, nor do they realize that it can be $5,000 at the low end, maybe $10,000. The incorporation of these programs online have made it a little bit more accessible from a financial perspective. But I know when I took mine, if I didn't have like a strong support system, $5,000 just wasn't easily being able to go out of a household.
Right.
So it started with us raising money for a scholarship, and it has turned into a foundation that we literally, not only do we find funds for yoga instructors that look like us to get certified, but we also find studios that are going to give them these jobs, because again, there's not a whole lot of them, specifically in Delaware. We're expanding outside of it, but specifically here, there's no Black owned yoga studios except for Green Bank Wellness.
And why do you think that is?
I think the word yoga is taboo in the Black community sometimes. I also feel like it's almost like the word therapy. It's unless it's work for you, you really can't speak about it. And I just think also westernized yoga in general, it's, you know, people that don't look like us, when, you know, it started from people that look like us, whether it's derivatives from India or derivatives from Egypt. They all Black and brown people. And when it came to the US, they've done with a lot of things, they water it down, and I'll say that on any platform. So that makes it harder for people that look like us in an industry that people don't think that we belong in. And I'm someone, if you tell me I can't be somewhere, now I'm gonna show up 3 times. So, so tomorrow we have we're doing yoga with Al Tackett. He's running for city council at large here in Wilmington. That's exciting because we collaborate with other organizations. We collaborate with the Connect DE, their professional organization for they're younger than, I don't even know if you can call them millennials. I don't know the generational breakdowns, but 20-somethings. They are, most of them are entrepreneurs in their own right, and we've collaborated with them. We brought wellness to Black and DE educators. They do a conference of exactly that. We know that it's stressful. Teachers these days, you're not just an educator, you're a social worker, sometimes a parent when you don't want to be. When they had their kind of a decompression event, we were able to provide wellness and yoga there. So we do those smaller things, but October 25th through the 27th, that's our Wilmington Black Yoga Fest. This is our major fundraiser, and this year it's a 3-day event that we're tackling. And this is where all the money for the scholarship fund is raised in that weekend. We get bits and pieces along the way, but that's like the major the major one, and it's exciting to see it, like all the planning come together.
Say that date one more time for everyone.
Yep, October 25th through the 27th. So we're starting with a happy hour on Friday, a panel and some yoga sessions on Saturday, and then a 5K is on Sunday.
Oh, nice. I haven't done a 5K.
Well, it looks like the Monarch might have to throw a team in.
Oh, I think we should.
Maybe we should. That would be super awesome. Yes,
for sure.
Because we love 5Ks.
Yeah.
We haven't done them.
Well, I don't know about. You sound very we love 5. I don't know. We love them.
Well, see, that's me and my time warp. Right, 20 years ago. Okay. I love the 5K.
Did you guys do the fun ones like the color runs and the bubble runs or any of them?
No, we didn't.
No, we would do them. They would leave at the
from the
Chase Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did a
like
lot.
The breast cancer.
Yes.
The American Heart Association. That's really close to and dear to us as well. As the autism. What is it called? Autism Delaware.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we definitely, let me put a note down that we'll get a team for the 5K.
You guys hear that?
Be super fun.
You guys hear that? So anybody that's interested in being on a team for the Monarch, we will have that information available shortly.
Yeah. We'll have like prizes, right? Like obviously like the fastest male, the fastest female, but like it's the last week of October, so those that celebrate Halloween, dress up, come out.
Nice.
But this is gonna be the blackest 5K Delaware's ever seen.
Nice.
So for me, I want to see you in whatever that means to you, whether that's a head wrap, whether that's some kind of an African cloth, or it could be literally dressing in black.
Yes.
We want this to be the blackest 5K that Newcastle County has seen.
Yes. Nice. All right, I'm with it. I'm down with that.
Yep. So I think, and along those lines, one of the questions we had was, what was the vision? What is the vision for the Black Yoga Fest Foundation, and how has it evolved since
We've come a long way. It started as a GoFundMe. Then we put the 2 of us in place, and now we actually have a board. So it's progressing slowly but surely. For me, our vision is going to be we're going to add in more workshops, right? So more than just we give these instructors money and we do this, or we do yoga in the parks. Now it's going to be actual workshops helping wellness professionals structure their business. What we don't realize, and we've kind of fought through, is you know, sometimes you're not just the yoga instructor. You're the yoga instructor, you're the business manager, you're the accountant.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And when we take a lot of these, and, you know, no shade to any of these professional programs they have here, there's some really great ones, but I've yet to see one that elaborates on how you can run a wellness business.
Right.
Specifically when you are the owner operator, meaning that you are the massage therapist, meaning that you are the yoga instructor. When you don't have that team behind you, there's not a lot of resources that show, like, because I know for me, people will tell you, like, I just want to show up and teach the class. Like, that other stuff, I've had to grow into.
Yes.
I really didn't like it until, you know, invoices go out and they don't get paid and no one follows up. Then you go, okay, now I like it. Let me figure out how this works. But, you know, for me, it's if I can ever open a door or take away a hurdle from someone else, I always want to do that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's that. And I think we've said that before, around small businesses and the need to collaborate and support each other.
Stronger together.
We're stronger
Absolutely.
together. And I also feel not only small businesses, but women, we are stronger together. We have so much positive knowledge and just strength that if we could, I think I mentioned going through something.
Yeah, so much experience.
We have so much experiences, and you go through things, and you want to be able to help somebody else go through that. I don't know where I was going with that, but
it sounds like a rant I put on Instagram. I'm just tell y'all, my advisor hates my rant. People think you're angry online. It's like either you're cold silent or you're ranting about something.
That's me.
That is you.
I just don't understand why we have to be in competition with each other.
It's unbelievable. But you're going to get me started on a rant, so we can't.
I triggered you, my bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's that the competition versus collaboration. And so competition really does hinder progress in this particular scenario. There are some situations where competition, I believe, is healthy and it brings out the best, right? Maybe if you want to be in competition with yourself, to have some self goals, that's good. But I feel like just maybe women have gotten to a point where the competition is a little unhealthy in a way that it's become counterproductive.
I agree.
You know, so so like I said, I won't get on a rant or anything like that. But yeah, women, we need to come together.
Yeah. What advice would you give someone just starting their journey in yoga or mindfulness?
I go back to things that I wish were told to me. Just remember, it's about you. It's about how you connect with the world, how the world connects with you, but also, most importantly, how you connect with yourself. Specifically when I'm in big rooms, I say all the time, whatever that looks like for you.
Right.
We can all do this. Something as simple as this, you're going to see it 3 different ways.
Right.
Just remember that, you know, it goes back to what they say, what's for you is for you, what's for me is for me.
Yeah.
Yoga's the same way.
Yeah.
You need to connect with spirit. You need to connect with your own body. You need to connect with your breath.
Yeah.
And when those all align in unity, that's when you can be the best version of yourself.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely just don't worry about what's going on next to you. Worry about you.
Yeah.
I feel like my granny told me that as a kid. Why are you worrying about what she
Yeah.
doing?
Worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself.
In so many ways, I'm learning that all of these things in life, they all connect and they all come full circle.
Yes.
It may present itself differently. The language may be different, but it's the same message.
Yeah, I agree. Everything comes full circle, and I've had conversations recently with my mom, and I was like, yeah, I didn't understand you for a lot of years, and I thought the stuff that you were saying was just crazy, and now I can appreciate it because I'm seeing and understanding some of the same
Where she was coming from.
Even just simple things as having a conversation and how someone interprets a word that you may be thinking means one way and they interpret it another way. So yeah, I totally agree with that about full circle. The other thing that we wanted to just what is your what do you see your future looking like, or what do you want your future to look like? What are your future goals for Green Bank, for restorative? Just what are your future goals? Everything.
So Restorative Embers is that's my candle company, and that honestly just started with me making candles for students. And then one day somebody was like, you should go to a pop-up and sell them. All right, now I'm at pop-up selling them.
Yep.
But for me, it's just I get to use my hands because I'm physically molding cement into vessels.
Right.
I am physically pouring and mixing in. So like for me, it was never like I'm about to make $1 million off of this.
Right.
It was something else that I can do creatively, and it's like tangible.
Yeah.
So that's always gonna be around. I don't know if I'm ever gonna like make it like a huge thing, because again, that's like what do they say? A hobby that you can make money from.
Yeah.
So I just kind of keep that as in like, I got a bunch of inventory now. Like put it on the website.
Yeah.
It'll get there. Like that's just not, that's not my focus. But definitely owning a studio. Not really teaching as much. Because I feel like I'm led to help people. The classes obviously always help people, but for me, it's if I can put other instructors in position in a way that they can understand that this can be a career. You can help people, and you can also pay your bills.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like is a goal of mine, and then also I'm hitting the road. I'm gonna start traveling more. So y'all get ready for the WhatsApp text. Hey, I'm in a different country. Even down to me structuring how I think I've shared this with you before. Like my daughter's 3. In the next 3 years, she's probably not going to school. Not probably, she's not going to school. She'll be homeschooled, so we have that flexibility to travel all over the world, and that's a goal I have set for myself.
That's fabulous.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
Absolutely fabulous. Devin, did you have any?
I just have one quick follow-up question around the lines of helping others, because I was looking at your website last night, and you also do offer like a 6-week is it a one-on-one course where you teach people how to kind of learn about how to be a yoga instructor, or
So I think for me, being a yoga instructor or facilitator, as I like to say, that was just like a journey for me. You deep dive into things about yourself you didn't even realize were there.
Yeah.
Beyond the movements that we see. I tell people all the time, like those postures are cool, they look great for social media, but like the work that's done beyond that is where I concentrate on.
Yeah.
But simple things of like the way that I interact with certain people was certain family members, literally whether it be an aunt, cousin, whoever, it was 10 or 11-year-old me reacting with this person.
Yeah.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
Even down to going to predominantly white schools, how that made me feel when I have a grandmother who was born and raised in Chesapeake, Virginia, who I'm like, she's racist, but it's, how can a black woman be racist is a question that was posed to me, but it's also, for her, that's her story.
Yeah.
Right? She was treated so bad that when she was an adult and made a choice, she moved her and her child to Delaware. So it's things like that you're gonna unpack. Is why I put the course there, because again, people don't realize it's the minute things that yoga is definitely a philosophy. It's definitely a practice. But the philosophy part isn't always, first of all, it's not taught, but then it's also not taught in a way that the layman would understand.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what that course is about.
Very good. Thank you so much.
This has been
so really good.
Fun.
Very fun.
And that's the kind of setting that we want here at the cottage.
It's comfortable here. Yeah. I'm always comfortable.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anybody else you want to give a shout out to? That's the camera right there. You want to talk to America?
That you need to
you guys pretty much have everything. I think you guys did a good job. You did your homework. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But the Wilmington Black Yoga Fest is October 25th through the 27th. Right here in Wilmington, Delaware. Our 5K will be at Battery Park in Newcastle, Delaware. But that's it. Shout out to my Dahlia family. We are an event space. We'll be open next month. So That's it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. And Shyrea is here every Thursday at the cottage for mindfulness and movement. So please be sure to come and visit us. Another successful podcast from the cottage. Thank you guys. We'll see you later. Have a great week. Bye.
Stay positive, guys.
Stay positive.
Stay positive.
We do hearts. Okay.
We do heart, peace and love. Peace and love.